Rambling Man Moto, trying to do one quick ride before sunset. I've removed the windshield, and I've got some info to share about my next steps. This has been happening recently a couple of times. Now, I'm not so low on fuel that I shouldn't have plenty to go. It was like 70, 60 miles I should have left. That's about. Alright, I'll see you on the road. This is Rambling Man, coming out for a little ride and probably to get some gas. You guys heard that startup issue I had. I've found that this power on is very delicate, and sometimes I mistakenly start it before the, I guess that's the, is that the fuel pump, fuel injector? I'm not sure what you call what part there, but it's not finished doing its thing. And I've had a couple instances recently where it hesitated. I am overdue for the 5K service, and I prefer to ride up there, so I'm always aiming to try to schedule it for a clear day, but they don't schedule very close, pretty far, usually weeks. Anyhow, it seems to be running fine once I get going, but a couple times it's done that to me. I took the windshield off that I tested again today. I think I'm kind of done with the testing. Like, I know what I've got there, and it's no airflow pretty much, so mission accomplished in terms of stopping the wind. But I did get up to 70 on some of these back roads again, and my head is just bobbing so much. So one of you made a comment about it's possible to get vents, so I looked up and found the company I think it's ClearView, and they make replacement shields for the, among other bikes, this Indian Springfield, and you can get them installed with 5-position vents. And I did message them rather than just order. I always like to take a chance to see if I can at least have one exchange or one conversation, just kind of telling them kind of what I'm doing. And I was also trying to get a picture of a Springfield with a vented shield. I could see why they would not be for everybody. I haven't heard back from the ClearView people yet, but I found one guy online that had like the Indian Chief Vintage or something. I don't know if it was the Springfield, it might have been the Vintage. And he had the vented one, and it was okay. I mean, it serves its purpose. I don't plan to leave a shield on all the time, so for me, the times I would want it is on I want it to be functional, and it's not in your eyesight. The other good thing about the ClearView is their screen is 12.5 inches, is their lowest, and this one is 12, assuming they measure the same way. Most do. They measure from the top of the headlight up to the start of the in the center, start of the material. So that extra ½ inch would help get me a little above my head. They also note theirs is 3 inch wider than the stock, and it's curved, and I don't know how their curvature differs from Freedom Shield. I noticed that ClearView only has a 30-day return window, and Freedom Shield seems unlimited, but obviously not something you'd want to abuse. But it's not 30 days. A lot of people with weather, they won't ride in certain weather, so they would have to order in good weather, whereas Freedom Shields lets you order during the winter and just hold on to it and return it if it doesn't work out. And both companies, that's if you leave the protective film on only. Boy, I need to make a left, but part of me wants to make a right. I think that's what I'm going to do. Oh, that's a shame.
Ladies, the outlaws.
So one of the tests I did earlier today with the windshield on was to put this visor up. And even, you know, when I had the windscreen on with the same helmet I was wearing, you could not even hear any wind coming through the helmet. And yes, I do wear earplugs, but if I put this up now, it is so much wind. I mean, as it should be. Like, it almost takes my breath away. Whereas when I had the windshield on, man, it's nothing. It's like barely at my eye level. I don't know what any of that means for my conclusions, but it's much more effective than what I ended up with on the Super Chief Limited. But it's, like I've said, almost too effective. I need some wind, and I'd like to reduce some of that buffeting. One thing on the longer trips, I don't want to have to stop and keep cleaning my visor. So it would help, but what's interesting is people always say you want to be able to see over your windshield. Well, if that's the case, then the bugs are still going to hit your visor. So I'm a little conflicted on the messaging. But that is one of the reasons for longer trips. You know, even if it's not 100% of the bugs, it'll be much better than without it. I was coming out of my driveway the other day, and you know, road kind of like this one, and I saw a motorcycle do a Jerry Palladino Motorman type U-turn right in the road. Man, I was impressed. Like, literally, he went from going in one direction to going the opposite, and I didn't see any duck walking. It was just a turn. And I don't know how many of you can do that. I know I cannot. And my U-turn radius is nowhere near what it could and should be. But man, that guy just whipped right around, thought nothing of it, got his head. I could see him looking with his head. But he got it all the way around, and man, he just zipped it around. Man, pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, God. Now, did you guys see that? I came to the stop sign and wanted to point to the right so that I could go to the right, but I had that front brake on. Whew! I tell you, I'm getting so paranoid about this topic. It's doing me more harm than good. I feel like I broke my damn finger keeping that thing up. Whew! And it's like I know exactly what I did wrong, and I keep doing it. Except that was totally different. I've never done that at a stop sign or a stoplight before. But there, the road was going to the right, so I thought, okay, I'll get a head start. But the whole bike was not going that way. Just the front wheel, and I must have had the front brake on. I'll look back on the video. Dumb move, man. You guys that ride the bigger bikes, can you pick it up by yourself? What sort of techniques do you use? Obviously, the answer is don't drop your bike, and learn to be a better rider and all that stuff, but stuff happens. So then it's like, well, all the videos I've seen show someone baby stepping it backwards. And I've seen some people say, you know, you should lay your bike down on purpose and drop it so you can practice that. And I think I might need to be doing that. That was not a comfortable feeling. I've become so paranoid on the topic. Alright. I saw Motorman had a video the other day about how to come to a smooth stop with the big bikes. And he basically said, front and rear brake until you come to the end of it, then you let off your front brake and put your foot down. That was the technique. And man, learn from my mistakes. Do not turn that damn front wheel when you have the front brake engaged. And this is why I think I still struggle with these turns, like making the right here, of when to have the clutch in and out, when to use the rear brake. This one's a little easier, but these turns don't bother me really as much. It's more the left turn. Let's see, completely stopped also. Like if I'm at a stop sign making a 90-degree right turn, that's kind of what just caused my issue. I've never come close to dropping. It's just not as tight as I would like it to be. And I know Motorman said on that to almost look like to the side of the road that you're turning on rather than the yellow line. Like right here is a situation where the road ends and you want to turn left. And so I have to be careful. Like if I go here, I have the whole bike pointed in a certain direction. Nothing on the front brake. But then I want to go sharp left. And this is where they're not as sharp as I'd like them to be. So if I look all the way left here, that just feels really slow to me. And I was looking at the yellow line, but it just, I went out to the white line, which, just seems too wide to me. And, I gotta work on it. But I don't know if that's counter steering going that slowly, coming off, versus just steering.